is Felipe Esparza. He enjoys binge-watching movies and has an amazing memory to recall details of every movie he's seen. This is Lisa Esparza, a lover of true crime shows and believes every film is a puzzle to be solved. Every week, they sit here and talk about the movies they binge. They're not film critics, but they do have opinions.
Very nice.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome
Do You Even Binge?
Do You Even Binge? You got that right. Yay.
I'm reading
got the title right.
Nah, I memorized it. I memorized 4 words and a question mark.
Do You Even Binge? Where we, Felipe Esparza, and myself, Lisa Esparza, where we review movies and TV and everything in between. And not just review, we talk, we analyze sometimes. Sometimes we just gripe.
She analyzed. I talk shit about it.
That's true. And I think I'm getting the hang of this now. We're on episode 5 now. This is our 5th episode. And I feel like we're getting in a little groove of what we want to do. I wasn't sure like how many reviews we want to do. But I think our instincts are right. Or sometimes we dive into like, we really obsess on like a director. Sometimes we obsess on a series or a writer, a creator, whatever. But sometimes it's just one movie that we like, that we want to talk about. So anyway, it's whatever we're up to that week, basically, and whatever we binged in the past or recently. But anyway, first we always start off with On This Day, right?
On this day.
But on this day in 1964, and today is the day we're recording it, and it's June 4th right now. 1964, the Beatles' first and only world tour begins with 2 10-song shows at 4,400-seat KB Halle in Copenhagen, Denmark. The British drummer Jimmie Nicol, right there on the left of the photo, staring daggers over into the Beatles. He replaced Ringo Starr, who was recovering from tonsillitis, for the first 5 dates, 10 concerts.
So
So
Ringo
2 weeks,
Starr was
basically.
not at the April 4th, 1964 at the
June 4th,
at the Sullivan.
No, he was on Ed Sullivan.
But then he got sick.
This is their world tour. Yeah, after they did they had like a month off.
Yeah, because
they came and did a photo shoot.
Because they did Ed Sullivan April 4th, 1964. That's the day that.
This is June, though.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in June, babe. But yeah. So they did a photo shoot after to kick off the world tour, which was their first one and last one.
Did you know that when the Beatles came around, that everybody that was doing rock and roll like the Coasters, rock and roll music before the Beatles showed up, they became oldies instantly. Like
people realized that was not rock and roll. They were being lied to.
They were oldies, and they were like, they were tripping because here's a guy who's barely 30, and now his type of music considered oldies now.
Yeah.
And I read that when I saw a little homeboy from the E Street Band.
Little Steven,
yeah.
Yeah. He has a garage. He has like a garage channel on the Sirius, right?
Yeah, Little Steven talked about how he was touring, he was performing with all these great guys. Because everybody decided to be a real rock band, a garage band, right after the Beatles showed up. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what my mom always described it as. You had Pat Boone one day, and then the next day the sky opened up. And the Beatles were all of a sudden like, there was no other music for them. Because it was Pat Boone, Perry Como, like this, it was a real weak-ass world they lived in. It was like going from black and white to
tie
color,
yellow ribbon.
No, that was later. That's in the 70s, babe. That was Tony Orlando. But yeah, so Pat Boone and Perry Como, Fabian, Turn Me Loose. You had all those like weak-ass 50s and 60s songs until the Beatles showed up. And everybody's like, what the hell is this?
And Trinidad.
What?
No, those singer named Trinidad.
Trinidad.
Yeah, the Latino singer from Texas. He was he was part of those Pat Boone area.
That era.
I can't think of his name, but it was Trinidad. I can't think of his first name, but Richard
Right.
Pryor brought him into the scene.
Trini Lopez, maybe?
Trini Lopez, yeah.
That's the one that sang "Lemon Tree, very pretty, and the flowers smell so sweet." Remember that song?
Never.
That's in Seinfeld. In Seinfeld, George, when George is going to change the answering machine tape,
Yeah.
and Jerry says, "Well, what's going to be our signal?" And he says, "Lemon tree, very pretty." Huh? And Jerry's like, "I don't know, that's not going to work."
Lemon Tree.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh, Trini Lopez.
Lemon tree, very pretty, and the lemon flower is sweet. Okay.
And he says,
Yeah.
"How about
The only reason I know about Trini Lopez because when I was working in Reno, I saw him like over and over and over headlining there, and I said, "Who is this guy?" Then I saw that he was a singer that opened up for big time people.
Yeah, I forgot about that guy. Yeah. But so it was like Cardigans and boring singing. Ozzy and Harriet was on TV and all that stuff. That was like the coolest you got. And then everybody became rock stars.
So what else happened today?
So anyway, nothing else happened. I just wanted to say what happened to Jimmie Nicol after he filled in for Ringo for 2 weeks. He really thought he was going to be Ringo, and Ringo was not coming back.
I didn't know they did that. Jimmie Nicol.
So it was only for 2 weeks.
Jimmy
He did press with them. He was he did a TV show they did, and he played on the TV
look at
show.
that face.
He looks like what's his face?
That'd be
What's his name? Mr. Green Thumb or whatever in
Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon, yes. As a young that's him.
That was back then where drummers didn't know their place. You know? Like they
didn't realize they were a dime a dozen.
They didn't realize they came out of working in a jazz studio all 8 hours a day and realized I'm a musician. But then you are a musician, but you're just not a rock star.
Yeah, you ain't nobody's. Well, yeah, took a while.
So Metallica started stealing songs from Dave Mustaine.
Oh.
Hell, their biggest song, Enter Sandman, go look up the band Excel right now. Look up their song. I think it's something Into the Unknown. Pretty similar.
Anyway, so Ringo had tonsillitis. Brian Epstein insisted on replacing him. He made a bunch of calls to different drummers. They all showed up or didn't show up. Anyway, this guy ended up being the last one who was available, pretty much. But he thought he was going to be, and he got along really well with John.
Of course he did.
But George was like, "No, we ain't replacing my buddy."
Right? You eat mud? I love mud.
And so George kind of put his foot down and saved Ringo's job. And anyway, Ringo came back.
That's George Harrison out there?
On the left, far left, yeah.
I thought it was that actor from Mayans.
Richard Cabral.
Richard
He
Cabral
looks a little bit like
George Harrison.
You're right. He's got a little bit of that in him. But then also so when he came back, when he was gone, so Ringo comes back. This guy goes off and plays a little bit with Dave Clark 5, a little bit, and then the next year, 9 months later, he's broke, bankrupt, and pretty much living in obscurity and living like a hermit. He swears Brian Epstein like blacklisted him, and nobody knows for sure, but everybody said he just didn't. Nobody was into him. So.
I bet people would like to be blacklisted from Jeffrey Epstein's list.
Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sure they would. Anyway, that's it for history today. The other history was kind of boring. This was the most interesting one. So that's it.
All right, that was boring. I didn't even know there was a guy named Jimmie Nicol, Jaime Nichols.
So what we're currently
Damn.
binging together doesn't really count as binging, but we did binge some stuff over the weekend. But we saw Phoenician Scheme in the theater this weekend.
Theaters.
What was the last thing you saw in the theater? I don't even remember.
The last thing I saw in the theaters was
I don't remember.
That Paul Rodriguez movie I was with.
Oh yeah. Holy Cash.
Holy Cat was it's pretty
Jay
it's
Moore
out there
and
now.
It's
You can watch it in your
you
hotel
said
room.
it's out there now. You can watch it in your hotel room. You're right, because Mario Lopez talks about Paul. If you watch the Mario Lopez
He interviews
24/7 channel, he interviews Paul, and then he talks about Holy Cash, and that was his way of getting out of being in the movie. Because Paul asked everybody for a favor for this movie. And Jay is in it. And Jay said he lost 60 pounds after that movie. He said it was huge.
But it helps
no neck.
because it helps the style of the movie because people think it's Kevin James. So
I squint my eyes, yeah. Anyway, so we saw the Phoenician Scheme, which is Wes Anderson's... Oh, actually, theater. I wanted to talk about theaters because you and I were talking about how there's all this stuff going on, like in the Minecraft movie, in the audience, and what was the other movie? Oh, Wicked, how everybody's singing along and stuff, and like a disturbing other patrons and stuff.
just with that, I'm out.
But I don't think it's always I don't think this is a phenomenon. I don't think it was happening. It's past now.
Well,
But-
when I went to go see Enter the Dragon as a kid, there was a lot of arms swinging. And a lot of ripped pants outside the lobby about kids trying to do a roundhouse. And people were looking for broomsticks to make a fucking nunchuck.
Everybody's moms were mad.
Yeah.
And the chain on the door, right?
Yeah, everybody wanted a scratch on their face like Bruce Lee for some reason.
I'm just saying, I don't believe this is happening at a level where it's being shown on social media. I think that's like some of these influencers are being paid by theater chains or somebody in the industry, whoever they are, the powers that be. But they're paying these people to do this, I think, and create chaos on their social media only, just for a quick second, and just to act like all this stuff is erupting inside these movie theaters, so people will go and want to be part of the chaos. Because there's nothing else to draw people to come see movies anymore in the theater, right?
No.
I mean, you were talking about ideas for what theaters should do or what movie studios should do when they release something in the theater.
I think that the theater should be 4D or 5D. I don't even know what 5D is. But like when you were like when there's a fire in a movie, your seat should get hot. You know, like real hot, where it's like it starts heating it up.
Yeah, John Waters.
And have smoke come in, like Alfred Hitchcock, you know.
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock. John Waters did that once, but then the fire department was called and they weren't allowed to do that
Like
anymore.
show Born East LA and have actual ICE agents come into the movie theater and snatch people.
What you want?
People be like, whoa, you see Born East LA? They have buses outside.
You got to do something. You were talking about merch, maybe like selling merch for the. There has to be something. John Waters back in the 80s, he did like smell-o-vision, right? And he had a little postcard you could scratch and sniff as you were watching a scene. And it was like fried chicken was cooking.
It has to be something where the audience is not just sitting there watching the movie. They want to interact. Like when we went to go see Point Break Live, which is a live show based on Point Break the movie.
That was a great.
They gave
great
you
little play, if you wanna call it a play.
they give you cash on the way in. Mm. They give you a
raincoat,
money to buy a burrito later, and a raincoat, and they gave you sunglasses because they were gonna throw water everywhere. Yeah. So when they were surfing, you could smell the lotion.
Yeah, the suntan lotion. It was fun.
We ran into a guy last night at a party, and he's part of the horror movie theme, whatever.
I think it was called Gormatics or something. That might be wrong.
Gormatics.
Gormatics.
Gordo.
Gore. Not gordo. Gore. Gore like horror. Gore.
Like the movie
Blood
theaters, man,
guts.
should have been like this since the beginning. Like when the guy from Star Wars realized, oh man, we gotta sell toys. There should be toys as soon as you get like just when you get out of a ride at Magic Mountain or Disneyland, and as soon as you get out of the gift shop, as soon as you come out of the movie theaters, there should be somebody dressed like somebody in that movie so you can take a picture of them.
Yeah, why don't they sell clothes that were in the movie?
There should be like a little app thing where you could click on it and you could buy all the outfits that were in that movie.
Yeah.
Or there's a cookbook of their favorite pizza that person made. Or
Well, that's what you would love.
a lot of people would love.
know.
And so you like when example, like you have restaurants who sponsor the movie. Nah, man, your food should be in the movie theater. Like B Sweets, when Star Wars came out,
a special collab.
they had that camel or whatever that camel is, the one that Luke Skywalker murdered, and he put
Tauntaun.
yeah, there was this B Sweets. They had Tauntaun milk, and it was blue. It was blue, and it was almond milk with some
that's
blue.
right.
Yeah, they had that milk. They had it like in a jar, and it tasted like blueberry, whatever. It was extra warm and extra sweet. They should be having that type of stuff.
Yeah, I used to have Tauntaun when I was a kid. Well, my brothers, but I played with it all the time. And it had a soft belly that was sliced open, and then you could stuff Luke inside it. Because remember, to stay warm and survive, he cuts the belly open and he sleeps inside there, which is so gross. But anyway, so we watched Wes Anderson's newest movie, The Phoenician Scheme.
Lisa fell asleep.
Starring Benicio del Toro,
It was
Michael Cera, and Mia Threapleton. Benicio plays Zsa Corda, a wealthy businessman who is looking to defeat his constant barrage of attacks by his enemies, some financial and some physical attacks. He goes and gets his... Well, actually, let's pause. What did you think the movie was about? What's the plot of this movie?
It was about a guy who has
Benicio,
a
right?
lot of money,
Uh-huh.
and they're like a bunch of business people that they're trying to get together to break him, and they're gonna break him, but he has a lot of people who still like him, like 5 people, and he's gonna go to each one of them and ask for a loan. So it's kind of like a guy that wants to make a movie, but nobody's backing him because all his movies sucked.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to his last favors to get everybody to back him up. And then he goes to his uncle, and he's an idiot, and his daughter, and he has like 9 kids that he adopted.
And what is the scheme, though? What is he trying to raise money for? Because I was confused about that for the longest time during this movie.
Oh, man, first of all, man.
Is it the railroad thing?
The scheme is you sit in there for like 2 hours, first of all, without yawning. That's the scheme. And the other scheme is looking around people and wondering what the fuck are they laughing at.
Oh, my God. The woman next to me could not stop. She was giggling from the first shot. First of all, beautiful opening scene. Do we have No, we don't have a shot of that. But
They didn't give us one.
No, they don't give us any clips. This is not the clip yet, but they don't have a clip of this. But the opening shot was just absolutely beautiful in the bathroom, where he's in the bathtub, right? This is after he survives the plane crash. Technically, that's not the opening. The opening credits. It's just this aerial shot of the bathroom, and it's got this beautiful, like Middle Eastern, Turkish sort of pattern on the floor, the tile. He's in the bathtub. These nurses are over on the side, like helping set things up, but also they're serving him dinner because he's rich, So it's just a great shot. And I want
to eat mac and cheese like that.
I was really excited. Yeah, he's sitting in the bathtub with some dinner being brought to him, but it was just a great shot, and I was so excited for it. But then it started, and I'm torn these days about Wes Anderson. So
yeah, and it's funny because they go to a scene where they're in heaven, and then Benicio del Toro's character from the French Dispatch shows up out of nowhere.
Well, that's the weird part. Can you show the clip from the Phoenician
Was it supposed
Scheme?
to be
That's the
him?
first clip I think we have.
He says, "What am I doing here?"
We're starting our descent.
I don't know.
Prepare your
That's the
documents
thing. I
before
never
we
learned.
deplane
It's
so you never delay my
biblical sort of
schedule.
references that are interspersed throughout the whole story. But look how beautiful. Okay, this is classic Wes Anderson look. How beautiful. That looks like your suit you wore for your tracksuit you wore for
If you look at the
Jimmy
way
Special.
that shot,
Normal people
he
want
shoots
to visit
everything the
human
way
rights companies,
Buster
citizenship,
Keaton
and any
shoots
sovereign
silent.
nation.
That's what I was saying about his movies.
My legal
His movies
residence is
looked that they were
Chateau Portugal.
shot first for a silent movie audience, and then they added dialogue at the end.
Yeah.
So it it feels like he shoots the picture first, like to make it look like we don't have enough film for everything. So he makes these long ones, like that. But like Buster Keaton.
What do you think the signature is of a Wes Anderson movie? How you could tell it's a Wes Anderson movie? What are the things that you think?
There's no black people in it at all.
Does Jeffrey Wright count?
Nah, man.
And the other guy, I forget his last name.
Like there's Wes Anderson grew up in an island somewhere where he never came in contact with one African American.
It's shocking he's from Houston,
or
right?
one Latino man.
It's shocking he's from Houston, right? Well, Benicio's Latino, but he got into the Wes Anderson world very late.
I have my reasons.
But
Actually, his movies I always have red in them, hidden somewhere. Like that movie you saw, the girl, the red balloon, and then in that movie,
Our objective
obstructing, impeding, crippling Corda's enterprise in any manner possible.
that movie about the Jewish guy with a list.
Schindler's List.
Schindler's List. They show a little girl.
Germany, yeah.
The whole movie's in black and white, but when they snatch this little Jewish girl, she's wearing a red coat.
Yeah.
And then later on in the movie,
comes back.
the red coat.
Look, there are certain
In
color
ashes.
schemes. Like they're not always red, but like in Royal
Not red, but
Tenenbaums,
there's like a hidden
pink.
red.
Yeah, there's like hidden. There's like pink throughout. The walls are pink. Pagoda's pants are pink, and like all this stuff. But I think the thing that defines him most is the look. For one, it's always symmetrical framing, and every frame, every shot is
Oh yeah, by the way, he
meticulously
does have a
planned out.
black person in the movie once, but he calls him a baboon in one of the lines.
Which movie?
Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, when Danny Glover is in it. Yeah, Danny Glover, great in that movie.
You'll never know because you can't.
But
The truth.
oh, you know what? Pull up the scene. I want to. I didn't include this scene on there, but I want to when we talk about Royal Tenenbaums in a second. It's Royal Tenenbaums, Danny Glover, and Gene Hackman. You want to talk jive? That's the best scene. But we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah,
Don't have to be about semantics.
semantics.
I learned that word now.
So anyway, this week's subject and why we're dressed this way is because we're talking about Wes Anderson movies, right?
Yes, we're dressed like Team Zissou
Team Zissou.
in Life Aquatic, which is Lisa's favorite movie from.
Not my favorite. It's on my list.
Oh.
Don't be giving me favorites that aren't my favorite. What's your favorite?
That's not your favorite?
It's on my list of top 5, which we'll go over at the end. But
All right.
it's not my favorite. I have a favorite. I have 2 favorites, but one edges the other one out. But yeah, so every frame planned out meticulously. Awesome use of colors, tone when they're filming, costume design, architectural and set design. You know, the lobby in Grand Budapest Hotel, which is where most of the narrative part of the film takes place. The lobby in Grand Budapest Hotel it was built inside a German, a disused department store at Harstadt in Görlitz, Germany. It was like built as a set within this huge department store. So they had free reign.
And they all stood there in that area. All the actors stood there in that area, and the manager of the place, he did a scene somewhere, and he was
The
there the
chef's
whole
in there,
time.
too.
He didn't leave.
Yeah.
Like when they said cut, he went back to his regular position in the hotel to work.
Yeah. But the lobby is not in a hotel.
No,
No.
they made it right.
They made it inside a department store in Germany. But they did use the chef in certain parts when they shot the kitchen scene. Also, the pacing and the acting style, a lot of long monologues, detail. Detail is really, I guess, the main thing that's defining of Wes Anderson. Whether it's like a label on a box or the room, like the game room in Royal Tenenbaums, or the reading room, the kids' room in Moonrise Kingdom, you know, that they all hang out in. You feel so connected to the scenes that way. But anyway, so let's go over the anthology, I guess, all the films. We started with Bottle Rocket. We don't have a clip for this one, but Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson and two friends. They don't play brothers because nobody thinks they're brothers, right? They don't look like brothers. Why don't they ever look like brothers? They don't talk like each other. Nothing.
They have different dads.
I don't think they do. Two friends plan and carry out a robbery with their pot-growing friend Bob. This movie bombed so hard at the box office that Owen Wilson thought maybe acting wasn't for him, and he signed up to join the Marines, but he didn't fully sign, I guess. He was
It bombed?
Yeah, it bombed hard. And you know what?
When did you first hear of this movie?
When it came out, but I didn't go see it. And then, but and I was living in New York at the time. I was seeing a lot of indie movies, but I don't know why I wasn't drawn to this one. But every time I've tried to watch it, which is maybe 10 times I've sat and tried to watch it, I fall asleep immediately.
I'm the only one with a car.
Immediately, like
you fall asleep right when it gets to swim.
I never even knew what it was about, and then I forced myself to watch it last week. Because we were doing this episode. So I was like, I don't know what this movie's about. And I stayed awake the whole time. And you went to sleep like 30 minutes before it was over.
That movie came out in 1995?
1996. That was the first one. And this one was co-written by Owen. And this one is actually very different. And he hadn't really developed his style yet in this one. It was more about the story, more about the script.
That came out first.
Yeah, very first one. It came out as a short film, and then it got picked up at a festival, I think. And then it was released in theaters.
How did they get James Caan to sign up on this?
That I don't know. I think once they had more money to do it as a feature length, they... Because, if you sell it at a festival, you get some money. And
Mr. Caan, are you busy from 2 to 6? You can shoot all your scenes.
I know. Can you imagine getting a yes from James Caan? It'd be like, so excited.
What?
So excited. Then Rushmore comes out, 1998, 2 years later, about a precocious teenager, Max, played by Jason Schwartzman.
I saw it at the movie theaters.
Me too.
And I felt bad. I saw it many times. Didn't care for the kid. I only care for Bill Murray.
The kid's an asshole, but I see problems in the kid, and I felt bad for him,
Never cared for the kid.
Yeah.
I like his ideas, but I felt more sorry as a lonely man, Bill Murray.
But see... Max is just as lonely. He just pretends to be an asshole. He's an asshole because he doesn't...
He's a little white kid. He's going to survive.
He probably will, but he's an asshole, though. He's acting out because...
I didn't know that he was poor in the movie, so I might have to watch it again because I thought he was a rich kid.
No, because he goes in... I mean, I think he's there on a scholarship, but also I think he had behavioral issues and was sent there. But his dad is Seymour Cassell in the movie, right? And he's kind of a loser, right? He calls him up and has,
So he's Eli Cash.
Which is another theme that runs through Wes Anderson movies, is the bad or distant or absent father very often. And like a very smart and put-together mother. In most cases, except Bottle Rocket is different. I'm sorry, not Bottle Rocket. The next one they did, which was Darjeeling Express, which I always forget about. Darjeeling Limited. Why did I say Express? They're on a train.
That one bombed too, right?
That bombed quite a bit, but that was after Royal Tenenbaums. But I want to stop at Royal Tenenbaums for a second. Darjeeling Limited came out after Tenenbaums and Life Aquatic. But Royal Tenenbaums, we can show Rushmore, sorry. Go back to Rushmore and let's show the scene from Rushmore there. This is my favorite scene. When so both Bill Murray and Max fall in love with the same woman, an art teacher at the prep school, and then they realize she's not into either of them and she actually has a boyfriend, and here they are on a date with her and the boy, and the guy, I mean.
What year did the movie Heat come out?
Don't know.
I like your nurse's uniform, guy.
These are OR scrubs.
Oh, are they? Well, they're totally inappropriate for the occasion.
Well, I didn't know we were going to dinner.
That's because you weren't invited.
Hilarious.
Take it easy, Max.
You were the one that ordered him a whiskey and soda.
So what's wrong with that? I can write a hit play. Why can't I have a little drink to unwind myself? So tell me, Curly, how do you know Miss Cross?
We went to Harvard together.
Oh, that's great. I wrote a hit play and directed it. So I'm not sweating it either.
Can we get a check, please?
Anyway, these are OR scrubs. Oh, are they? Best line from the movie, in my opinion. What are you staring off into the distance again for?
I don't get it. The joke.
You don't get the joke? Why?
I just don't get it.
What don't you get about it?
The scrub part.
Well, they're at dinner. They're all dressed, except Luke Wilson is in scrubs from the hospital.
Yeah.
And he says, "Are you a nurse?" And he says something about your nurse's outfit. And he said, "These are OR scrubs."
OR, okay. OR, operation room, okay.
Yeah. And then he says, "Oh, are they?"
Oh, I get it now.
Oh, my God. All this time you never got that line?
Nah, I must have
That's
thought
the best
that
line
part.
in the movie.
Oh, I
Anyways.
get it. That's a good one. I missed it.
Okay. So after Rushmore, he made Royal Tenenbaums, about a dysfunctional family headed by a man named Royal Tenenbaum, played by Gene Hackman. In, I think, his greatest role ever. I know people like French Connection and what was the other one? Conversation and all that stuff, which are great. But this movie, there's no comparison. He's so real and so great as a really asshole dad. Very selfish. There's barely any redeeming qualities except for his personality, his charm, that make you go, I kind of like this guy. I dig this guy.
I saw this movie at the movie theaters.
Yeah, me too.
And then later on, I saw it a bunch of times. Then I saw it with my daughter, this movie. We watched it at my house. And she left at that part where she introduces his daughter. This is he always, and Roy always introduced her as his stepdaughter. This is my stepdaughter.
Yeah, this is my stepdaughter, Margot.
Yeah.
I just we love that line. I pointed that out to you last time too, or we talked about that. Because Angelica Houston plays his wife, and she's really put together. She's raised these kids to be pretty much geniuses. They're all three very accomplished. One's a playwright, one's a financial genius as a kid. The other one's a star tennis player. And then it says that they're the parents of 3 children who grew up on the verge of being geniuses, basically until all of that was undone by, quote, 2 decades of betrayal, failure, and disaster. All on the part of Gene Hackman. And then Richie, who is the brother, Luke Wilson, he is secretly in love with Margot, played by Gwyneth Paltrow. And since she's adopted, I guess he just always he didn't have a sisterly feeling for her, I guess. But I have a scene clip up there to show,
I received your message. I'm
which
coming
is
home as soon as
probably
possible.
the most memorable clip from the movie.
What do I see about
here.
that?
The ship's porter arranged for Richie to disembark at Halifax and transfer to a third-class stateroom on board the Queen Helena,
Pete.
destined for the eastern seaboard.
Doing there.
His trunks would not arrive for another 11 days.
Hey, Bomber. Do you mind if we get a picture with you?
Not at all.
He had made a request for his usual escort, the one from his days on the circuit, to meet him at the pier by way of the Green Line bus. As always, she was late.
Wes Anderson used to be a DJ, so that's why he uses music so well in his movies. Slow
She used to be a
motion
bus
starting
driver.
here.
It's funny how there's a no smoking sign right next to her.
Yeah.
Nobody knows she smokes.
Song by German artist Nicol.
I don't do too much talking these days.
The naval officers walking behind. Everything's perfectly choreographed. Look at the luggage back there, how perfect it is.
About the things that I forgot to do.
Because
She's right in the
They're
center.
both full of baggage.
Right, baggage
Their
behind.
turmoil life.
Hey, there you go. Look at you analyzing stuff.
Stand up straight. Let me get a look at you.
Look, perfectly in the center. He's perfectly in the center. Nobody puts people like this in the center of the
So
shot
funny.
like that. With all that
Well,
extra
it's nice
space
to
on the
see you,
side.
too.
I'll start shooting all my Instagram stories like that.
And then after, oh wait, what was the let's show that one scene with Gene Hackman, if you found it, with Danny Glover.
What I like about the Royal Tenenbaum movie is that I relate to Royale so much because I have 3 estranged kids myself. And if you're like an estranged father, you know, like you've been out of your kid's life for a long time, you really like Royale. And you wish you had a chance to be like that, you know, like to just have that moment.
Yeah, he's
where,
inserting
like
himself.
You wish you had that moment where your kids are hanging out with you, which he never did, but he's doing it with his grandkids.
Yeah, he's trying to insert himself in their lives right now. And so this is after he finds out Danny Glover, his ex-wife's longtime accountant, is trying to make a move on her. He proposed to Angelica Houston. Royal comes back and tries to get in their lives again, and he's posturing in front of Danny right here. Being all manly.
Can I ask you something, Hank?
Okay.
Are you trying to steal my woman?
I beg your pardon.
You heard me, Coltrane.
Coltrane.
What?
What?
Did you just call me Coltrane?
No.
No.
You didn't?
No.
But if I did...
Okay.
But if I did, you wouldn't be able to do anything about it, would you?
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
Listen, Royal, if you think you can
You
march...
want to talk some jive? I'll talk some jive. I'll talk some jive like you never heard.
Oh, yeah?
Right on!
Sit down.
Right on.
What did you say? I said sit down, I heard you. I want you out of my house. Just as not your raggedy ass out. Don't talk semantics. No, that's just not it.
What's going on here?
Oh, he said right on. All right. And then we'll move on to Life Aquatic. Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, sort of a Jacques Cousteau style character who's long lost.
Jacques Cousteau and also that guy
Right.
from the cartoon.
Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest.
Johnny Quest's dad. Whose long lost son joins his mixed bag crew on this ship, this exploration ship. He does like underwater films. He's trying to catch this jaguar shark that killed his old partner back in the day. And then there's a whole film crew involved. And Bill Murray, Angelica Houston, Owen Wilson, all this regulars from his movies. But the set design in this movie was really spectacular, especially the little animated. Can you find the little seahorse clip from Life Aquatic? Because these little animatronics were made specifically for the movie. It's kind of a stop motion animation thing. They're really colorful. I don't know if they show that. Oh, well.
Yeah, it was a present that was given to him at the movie premiere by Han's grandson.
Hans' grandson, yeah.
Yeah, he has like a little Crayola-looking seahorse instead of a
it's like
bag.
multicolored. I think the one with the boat right there might be, I'm not sure.
He has a friend who died in this film. His name is Esteban.
Yeah, so
I'm going to describe the whole boat.
So this boat is all, and then you've got the animatronic whales underneath, pilot whales. I don't know if I'll show
That
you.
guy right there playing the guitar, he was in that movie City of God.
City of God, which we'll do an episode on as well.
Knockout Jones.
Knockout Ned.
Knockout Ned.
Who was always nicely dressed and everything, right? But I have a clip for this Life Aquatic that shows Knockout Ned playing guitar, the Ziggy Stardust cover. He plays Pele, a Brazilian or I don't know if he's playing Portuguese or Brazilian sailor with him. He's singing in Portuguese.
Hear the old album.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, of this Life Aquatic.
And he's really singing the whole thing?
Yeah, he's really singing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
When I saw the name Pele, when I first saw this, I was like, wait, the soccer star? He's the same age. Like, he didn't get any older. It's not him.
I like that scene where he's singing that song. This is Major Tom to ground control.
Yeah,
and he's humming the 5, 4, 3, and at the same time, by the time he gets to 2, all the pirates on the boat.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When the pirates board the boat, the ship.
Funny how Angela Houston and her character here is not so much different from her character in real life.
Yeah.
With her and Robert Graham in those days.
Yeah, because were they having a marriage like that though? A marriage of business?
I don't know.
Where they didn't have a relationship anymore?
I don't know, but she's into art, so
yeah,
this is not real a stretch for her.
Yeah, she kind of ran things. Even after his death, she took over his estate. Anyway, that's what we're dressed as here. It's probably the most used costume from Wes Anderson movies ever. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh, I forgot.
I have the shoes of Tim Zissou right here.
Oh yeah, that's right. I bought those as a birthday gift for you.
And it does say
custom made.
Zissou right here.
Yeah, the whole uniform, everything was great from that movie. I forgot to include. I'm going to send those to you, Romel. You can splice them in here. But we have shots of ourselves in 2 different Halloween costumes of Royal Tenenbaums and Moonrise Kingdom.
Moonrise Kingdom.
Too. So I'll send those to you. I'll write a note here. Pics. So.
I thought these cookies I bought from that 99 Chinese store were going to be bad, but they're actually all right. I might be hungry.
I'll have one of those later. You might be hungry.
It tasted really bad yesterday, like
coconut cookies.
I told you, it tasted like those disappearing underwear. Like the flavor, the more you chew, the more the flavor leaves.
Aren't those disappearing underwear? Those are fruit roll-ups or fruit leather.
I can't believe you chose this for your
these. You love old lady cookies. I just cannot get behind those cookies. He likes biscuits, like just sand cookies. I guess I don't know that you can drink with or eat with coffee. It's a waste of calories for me.
Hello. Is it these biscuits you looking for?
Darjeeling Limited, we talked about that. 3 brothers on a train throughout India as a way to discover the meaning of life soon after their father has died, right? Fantastic Mr. Fox. This is where it starts to get sketchy for me. Fantastic Mr. Fox was an animated movie out of nowhere. It just showed up one
George
day.
Clooney in it. He plays the fox.
George Clooney plays the fox. It's an animated version of a Roald Dahl story. I personally had trouble getting connected to this movie, and I haven't been able to watch it. I think I've tried 5 or 6 times to start it, and I can't. I just can't. I could watch Jason Bateman in Zootopia forever.
And Fantastic Four.
And Fantastic Four.
I don't think I ever liked any movie with Fantastic in it.
Yeah, I can't get behind it. So I honestly have never watched this one. Maybe a few minutes in the beginning and then just off. I just can't. But right after it, he comes with a masterpiece 3 years later, 2012, Moonrise Kingdom.
Is that movie bomb?
Moonrise Kingdom or Fantastic Mr. Fox?
Moonrise Kingdom.
Did not bomb, but it wasn't a hit. I mean, none of his movies are like blockbusters because he doesn't make those kind of movies. He makes indie films usually. Now he's got studios behind him and more money behind him. And honestly, people should start telling him no again because he's got some issues.
I'm Captain Lou Albano talking to you about drugs. Kids, don't be afraid to say no. Anyone that asks you to use drugs is not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Please.
I feel like he's hit that point.
Who should tell him no? The actors?
No, the producers and the studio needs to be like, you know what, this isn't working or whatever. Somebody needs to tell him no on certain things because he's running off with too many ideas or maybe the same idea. He's becoming, after Moonrise Kingdom, well, shoot, I shouldn't say this yet. I'll say it in a second. But let's go to Moonrise Kingdom. This is a close second for my favorite. I'll continue my thought later.
I don't need a paper to tell you about this movie.
Go ahead.
This movie is about these people who live on this island.
Like in New England.
And
right? Like Cape Cod or something like that.
I don't even know, man.
It's the style like that, a place like that.
But the Cape Cod, what I like about the movie is the house where they live at, because they describe their house exactly like the submarine in Life Aquatic.
Yeah.
And
that kid's little playroom.
And I was drawn by some album that the kid had. Mm-hmm. He plays the album, and I swear to God, I think we heard that album in my 7th grade music class with Mr. Bose, where we learned the wood instruments and the brass instruments. And I think the kid is listening to Leonard Bernstein's orchestra album for youth. Mm-hmm. And it's like a little kid describing the album going, the wood instruments are this, and they start playing like that.
Oh, you're talking about Peter and the Wolf.
No, I'm talking about that album that kid is playing.
Oh, yeah?
He's playing, I wrote it down. He played...
oh, I thought it was Peter and the Wolf that did that. And it's like, and then when the wolf goes...
No, he's describing the wood instruments. He's saying the wood instruments are flutes, bassoons,
and
then
clarinet,
Leonard Bernstein's the young person guide to orchestra.
Oh, okay.
So this movie about two kids who fall in love.
Again, very smart kids, precocious, like smarter than smart for their age, and they fall in love and they run away together. And I think this really happened to him. Actually, is there a clip?
Bruce Willis in this movie, by the way.
Did I put a clip in there under Moonrise Kingdom? There's another one under there of, go ahead and play the other one first. And then, Bruce Willis is in it, Frances McDormand. But the kids are really the star. So they escaped. They took a few essentials like this battery-operated Fisher-Price record player to the little lake. And this is the 60s, by the way. So they're both dancing. He starts to get it there. It's just got a good feel, And again, there's the symmetry with the two hills on the sides, kids in between. Perfectly placed saddle shoes right there. And like they had their first dance. We don't have to watch the whole thing. But then the other clip is Wes Anderson. I guess this really happened to him.
This on top of our
that he found this on the top of his refrigerator when he was a kid.
Does that mean you?
Coping with your troubled child.
I think so.
He apparently never spoke about it until he wrote it into this movie, and said he did worry about his family's reaction to it since he's never brought it up with them.
I did find the pamphlet on the refrigerator, and I knew I wasn't the only child in the house, but I knew which one was the very troubled child. Yeah, which was not a great feeling, but.
So he found that pamphlet as a kid. He never told his parents about it until he wrote it into the movie, into the scene. But that's why she runs away, is her mother thinks something's wrong with her. And she's just a normal teenager pushing back on her parents. But it's a great movie. Such a good movie. And
there's good scene with a little girl and her mom. If you have a mom you never got along with, you can relate to.
Yeah, I couldn't find that scene. But what does she tell Frances McDormand?
She says...
she's giving her a bath or something, right? And then she kind of starts talking shit about her or giving her rules.
She's telling her stuff, blah, blah, blah. Then Frances McDormand says, you don't really mean it. You're just saying that to hurt me. I do mean it, and I want to hurt you.
And then she says you can only push a person so far before they snap or something like that, right? The kid says that to her. I felt like that 100 times with my mother.
There's a guy with a patch eye. They call him Lazy Eye.
Yeah, doesn't he get stabbed in the eye with the
Yeah.
scissors and stuff? It's a great movie. And so it's like a camp film. The kids like in this sort of Boy Scouts called the Khaki Scouts or something, right?
Yeah.
And you know, the girl comes by, she's running away from her family, then they go off on their own, have a little adventure. They're all looking out for Max. Child Services comes, all that stuff. And then after Moonrise Kingdom, we go on to 2014 at the Grand Budapest Hotel about the adventures of a concierge played by Rafe Fiennes, sorry, not Ralph, and his lobby boy, Tony Revolori, who becomes his most trusted friend. And we have a clip, TikTok clip, I think.
Take your hands off my lobby boy!
I never noticed. I always thought it was weird. Why did she have a whole tattoo of Mexico on her face?
Well, it's not a tattoo, it's a birthmark.
Okay, why does her birthmark look exactly like Mexico?
Nobody knows. That's the
Like
mystery.
exactly like Mexico.
I know, that's the mystery. But that's her birthmark shape. That's Tilda Swinton right there.
5
the old
hours
lady.
for that makeup. They just got a real old lady.
Yeah, they should have just gotten an old lady. Anyway, that's a little quick trailer of it. But beautifully shot. Go ahead.
The movie's about this very, very, very flamboyant and eccentric. I guess he's concierge of this hotel.
Yeah, concierge there.
And he takes care of everybody. Like he knows his job. Like he even told the lobby boy, a lobby boy needs to know the needs of the guests before they even ask for it. He should be there but not be seen. And so he's teaching the guy all this stuff.
Yeah, he's
And
really...
he fools around with all the older ladies.
Yeah, he's kind of a gigolo in a way, but he's just like catering to whatever people
And he
need.
was the most perfumed man there was.
The most heavily perfumed man.
I like when because this painting right here is part of the plot of the movie right here. It's a boy with apple.
Yeah, this painting.
It reminded her of me, and now remind me of her.
The painting known as Boy with Apple.
And then he gets it in this rich widow dies and leaves that painting to him, and it's the prized painting that all the rest of the family wants, and they're like, who the fuck is that?
It is I, darling.
He walks in, it's I, darling.
I like when these agents supposed to be Nazi agents, they grab their ID and his ID is not updated. He goes, that's not a great photo of me. I was once considered quite a beauty.
Yeah, a great beauty. I couldn't find that clip by itself.
France.
I knew it.
Anyway, yeah, that's Boy with Apple, the fictional painting.
What's in the movie too? From Taxi Driver.
Harvey Keitel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it.
You know, and there's a part of the movie where Mr. What's his name? The concierge of the hotel. What's his name? Mr. Gustav H. He needs a
Ray
favor.
Fiennes. Mm-hmm.
So he calls Bill Murray, who's also a concierge at another hotel. He goes, I'm gonna need a favor from the Four Keys, I think.
The Society of the Cross Keys.
Society of the Cross Keys, right? And then he calls another concierge at another hotel to do him a favor.
It's like a network of concierges, yeah.
So I looked it up, and it actually is a real network. It's a real network of only concierges in Europe, and they don't help you escape from prison, by the way. But they do help each other out, like, all over the country. Like, if you need, like someone needs a favor, right, who's going to go to fucking Sweden, and they need tickets for this opera that's going to be
right,
there.
or the
they will
Royal Ballet.
They will do each
whatever.
other favors like that and they're all connected like that.
Yeah.
They have a key like that, Society of
the Cross Keys.
The Cross Keys.
And then honestly, okay, so now after this one,
Spirit of the Brute
is where I think I've lost faith in Wes Anderson, and I think I might be done with Wes Anderson. I'm not sure. Isle of Dogs is next, 2018, another animated film. This was stop motion animation.
I don't think I saw that movie.
Never saw it. I can't get into it.
There were people protesting this movie, right?
I don't remember protests. Were there?
Or something because the Asian part of it or something like that.
I don't know.
They were saying that it was controversy because there's a bunch of dogs and there's an Asian guy. I don't know.
I never read that.
I read that.
Well, look it up.
One of the reasons I didn't watch the movie. No, just kidding.
You should have brought that up. That would have been perfect to bring up right now. When I went looking for analysis of this movie,
it is cultural appropriation right there because they killed Asian. He's not Asian.
Oh, and the actor's not Asian?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't read that.
Yeah, there is there, guys. Read it on your own when you have time.
Read it on and send me some notes because I don't know.
Isle of Dogs backlash with Anderson criticized for racial stereotypes of
stereotypes.
marginalizing Japanese culture. Yeah.
Okay. I have to read about that. I don't know. You should have brought that up.
It was big.
But anyway, I never got into this. And when I went looking for analysis for this movie, I ran into the perfect sum up for me about Wes Anderson these days. The question was, did something happen to Wes Anderson films after Isle of Dogs that made them all less appealing? And somebody responded, you mean it's weird watching a cast of 47 amazing actors take turns reading lines in a monotone voice while a narrator explains everything very quickly in between, but it doesn't matter because it's just a play within a novel, within a documentary, within a movie.
That's it.
That's it. And so that's how, hold on.
Also, they stopped, Owen Wilson doesn't write with them no more.
That's what somebody said, that Owen,
they're missing
it's
the
Roman
wow.
Coppola, the wow factor.
The wow factor.
But, yeah, what's his face? Roman Coppola does more co-writing with him now. So maybe that's why. I feel like there's no soul anymore. It's just beautiful shots. And Phoenician Scheme had maybe a little bit of both. It had a little more of a story and a little more heart. And I don't mean heart like in a cheesy way. I mean the movies lately of French Dispatch, Asteroid City. What was the other one that he had? Oh, and the freaking short stories, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar and Three More, which is on Netflix. That's like 4 short stories from Roald Dahl.
That part could be narrated by another podcast narrating that show while they narrate the whole movie.
I mean, that movie, that short anthology of shorts really was awful to me. And I didn't know what I was watching. Can you show the trailer? Because even in the trailer,
the
they do
wonderful
it.
story of Henry Sugar was, here's the independent film writer.
Hold on, pause it.
That gets a lot of money, but doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Well, he has an idea, but it's now become a caricature of what everybody makes fun of him for.
It won an
what I mean?
Oscar.
The first one won an Oscar. The first short story of Henry Sugar. But go ahead and play it from the beginning. Listen to the narration style. I hate this.
Good evening, Mr. Sugar, said the man behind the desk whose job it was to never forget a face.
Henry Sugar was 41 years old, unmarried and rich.
Strange. The following is what Henry read in the little blue exercise book.
Gentlemen, I'm a man who can see without using his eyes.
He saw it, I cried. He saw that trolley. This is absolutely unbelievable. I was flabbergasted.
This is a terrific piece of information. This could change my life.
An extraordinary thing happened. All at once, he sees through his own skin. Like an X-ray, only better. He sees everything.
So it's like
Henry
somebody's
was now almost
reading
certainly capable of making
the
money
story
faster
to
than
us.
any other person in the entire world.
But with all the parts of a story, like...
Interesting.
I didn't go to bed that night, he said. Like, you're telling me he said? Like, this shouldn't be part of the script, in my opinion. It takes me out of the story. Everybody... I thought it was only going to be the first story that was like that, but all 4 of them were like that. And I just could not get behind that style. I watched them all, but it was hard. It was hard to figure out what was going on. There were pages and pages of text that they were reading in these monologues so fast where you couldn't really absorb what they were talking about, because it's not like you're reading on the page, you're hearing somebody read the page to you pretty much, which is very hard for me to visualize, even with a little bit of visualization thrown in, which very nice looking, but very difficult to follow. What did you think?
Man, they sucked.
They did. They did.
I'm the narrator to narrate what I said.
Exactly. It was
it
just
sucks.
too...
Felipe doesn't like these films.
Yeah, it was It wasn't for me, I said. Yeah, that's me. And I thought for a while, maybe it was like Roald Dahl stories that weren't for me. But, he did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He did Matilda. And when we watch Matilda's a great movie. He did not make Matilda, but Roald Dahl's story is Matilda. But Matilda, the movie, you feel for that little girl. You hate Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman. Like, you hate that mean teacher. You could, like everything. You're drawn into that movie. Everybody, adult, child, everybody is drawn into that movie. There is no narration. It's not written like that. And if they just read it to you like that with no emotion, nothing, like, you would feel nothing for this character. You feel nothing for this book, this story. It was not for me.
Yeah.
So Phoenician Scheme, even though I think that movie was slightly better than the last few he's made, like French Dispatch and
Asteroid City.
I think this is probably the last movie I'll go see, at least in the theater, for Wes Anderson. Like, it's pretty and all, and it goes well with music and stuff, but story-wise, it's just not there for me. And acting, you don't get to... Oh, this was one thing I didn't say to you. The acting is so frustrating because think about Gene Hackman's great acting, and then think about the story of Henry Sugar or whatever, or even Phoenician Scheme, where there's less acting, and they're like automatons, just given a speech to say, right, in front of the camera. And they're acting all very weird and stilted like robots. And it's like Wes Anderson has found a new way to play with his characters like dolls or robots. And he's just like giving them direction, and then they do it because they've all worked with him for years. So they just do what he says. But now there's no feeling. There's no soul in the performances, right?
I just feel like he's grabbing other actors and placing them in places like he's playing dolls.
In a box, right? Like a shoebox. And this movie starts with shoeboxes, which is interesting, with all different plans inside the shoeboxes. But it feels like a diorama or something. And
that's why I like Royal Tenenbaums, because it's just one narrator, Alec Baldwin.
Right, Alec Baldwin, who you forget is narrating that, right? He's so good.
Forget. You forget.
I forget. I forget then. I don't care what you're thinking.
At that moment, Royal realized that was the last statement he said was actually true.
Right, but that's great. Doing that kind of narration is fine. And the music that's interwoven in Royal Tenenbaums. But the performances, too, everybody. Ben Stiller is great in that movie. And I think that might be his first, like, really dramatic role. And then Owen Wilson is great in that.
I will never be allowed another event.
Luke Wilson. Look up Luke Wilson, Royal Tenenbaums, Elliott Smith scene, because that's a really...
It's not Owen Wilson, it's the other one.
No, Luke Wilson, I said.
Luke Wilson.
Royal Tenenbaums, Elliott Smith.
I'm going to kill myself today.
I'm going to kill myself
I remember
today.
I said that to a couple of crackheads to leave the hotel room, and they left. I'm going to kill myself.
That one right there. And then he cuts his hair.
First of all, they're both sad because their lady is cheating on them.
Yeah. Bill Murray's lying down. His wife has left and gone back home. Richie never told anybody he loves Bill Murray's wife, his sister.
Well.
The great Elliott Smith song,
For somebody who's
Needle in
cutting
the
his
Hay.
head for like suicide, he cut it pretty good.
I know.
I like how Ben Stiller didn't really care about his suicide, and he asked him, "Did you leave a note? Was it dark?"
And then Elliott Smith mysteriously kills himself by stabbing himself in the heart not too long after this movie was made, which just to me seems suspicious, because how does somebody stab themselves through their sternum hard enough, like this, through their sternum and everything?
You fall on the knife.
I think his girlfriend stabbed him. 2 stabs in the heart.
2 knives.
It has happened. There have been 2 gunshots or whatever occasionally. Very, very, very rarely. But 2 stabs, I don't know. It's tough. And through your sternum, your bones, it was right in the center of his chest. And I've always been suspicious, and I don't think that his girlfriend was ever investigated. Anyway, we don't have to show the whole thing, but very... There's a lot of blood at the end of that
Gene
scene.
Hackman, Royal Tenenbaums, even that suicide, he makes it about himself. He goes, "They don't want me there." Did they say that?
Well, I have a challenge for you. Are we ready for the challenge?
You ain't ready for no challenge.
I have a challenge for you.
That's a raccoon tail.
So anyway, we all know how special visuals are in Wes Anderson films. From the color schemes to building architecture and framing, the perfect shot to the iconic clothing some of his characters wear. Take a look at these close-up images and tell me which character and which movie they're from.
That's a little four-eyed kid from Moonrise Kingdom.
Yes.
Who grew up to be an ugly man, by the way.
Did he?
I
haven't looked him up as an adult. I don't know.
I don't want to know how he looks like in the future.
All right, second one. What is that?
That's somebody's vagina.
What? Gross.
This is my blanket right now?
Your blanket, it could be.
I don't know what that is.
From a Wes Anderson movie, nothing?
I think it's the girl with the coat and her umbrella.
I dressed like this for Halloween.
Yeah, hold on, stay on.
Yeah, Margot Tenenbaums.
I can't remember her name.
Margot Tenenbaums.
Not good to remember names.
Margot, right there.
I was right.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
She had a purse, not umbrella.
Yeah, no umbrella. All right, third one.
That's from Pagoda Pants?
No.
I don't know.
It's Lobby Boy's hat.
The Lobby Boy.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore. No, the beanie from Life Aquatic.
Yeah, it's our beanies. Yeah. Is this the last one?
Rushmore.
Rushmore. That's his beret.
That's funny. He's wearing the same beret that his mother wore in Rocky.
Yes. Yes. Is it the same though?
Yeah.
Like she handed it down to him?
I think
No.
so. And the glasses too.
He does look like Talia Shire in Rocky. Yeah. It's Adrian. Talia
See, I
Shire.
didn't know that he was a kid. He looked like an adult in that movie. That's why I couldn't buy it to me.
Just look up Talia Shire Rocky. Talia. Shire Rocky. There she is. That's his mom. Jason Schwartzman's mom. She doesn't have her old lady glasses on in that photo, though.
Put me in Rushmore. Nah.
Mom, you can't be in this movie. Anyway, that's the
That was a
last.
good-ass game.
That's the little challenges. So, what's your okay? Let's go over our top 5, and if in post production, maybe we could put the names of the movies next under each of us, right? Our top 5. So, what's your fifth? Going down 5 to 1, and 1 is the best for you. What are your top 5? What's your fifth one? Just your fifth one. I gotta look at my list I made. My fifth is Rushmore. I'll say that.
Mine is I can't do it from the top to bottom because I only know it from the first to the end.
Okay, what's your first one? That's a killer, mood killer. All right.
No, my fifth one. How many movies he made then?
He made a lot. I'm just saying your 5. If you have, do you have 5 Wes Anderson movies you like? Put them in order from 5 to 1, from least favorite to, not least favorite, but out of 5, what would be your least favorite? Here's some up here on the screen. Are those all his main ones? Mostly.
Yeah, Rushmore would probably be 5-2 on mine. Yeah.
Copycat. And then, so that's Rushmore's 5 for me. Life Aquatic is my 4th.
I can't do it like that. I'm sorry.
Okay, start with 1 then.
Royal Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaums, Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonrise Kingdom, Bottle Rocket, and Rushmore.
You put Bottle Rocket in your top 5?
Yeah, because I love that. I like that movie, man.
I don't like it that much.
Because the movie is a ripoff of that movie, Rushmore. The reason I asked for when did Heat come out, because the kid in Rushmore, he took the line from Heat. When he bought the dynamite, he used the same company as Val Kilmer in Heat. When he asked him what company, Arizona Demolition. And then in Rushmore, he did the same. He did the same company. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I don't know when Heat came out. 95 maybe, I don't know. But Rushmore was 98, so. Well, it's right there on the 95 it looks. Wait, I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah.
I can't see it anywhere. Anyway, my top 5. So 5 would be Rushmore for me. 4 would be Life Aquatic. 3 would be Grand Budapest. 2 would be Moonrise Kingdom, and 1 would be Royal Tenenbaums. It's a tie for me, I think, though, with Moonrise Kingdom and Royal Tenenbaums. But I think I love Gene Hackman so much that it pushes it over the top for me as number 1 for me.
Yeah, that Royal Tenenbaums has everything I like. It has Adidas tracksuits,
yeah, all the
hair,
clothes are great.
Dog fights.
Dog fights.
I love that scene, man, when he takes you don't know like what's it like to have a grandfather around or an uncle to take you out in adventures. That's why I love Royal Tenenbaums, because my uncle used to take us out. Like my dad would get all fucked up and we didn't go anywhere, and my uncle would show up like a fucking superhero and go, "Who wants to go to the fucking park?" And I go, me. And that fool take us to get haircuts, even though my mother didn't ask. He'll buy maybe one pair of tennis shoes. He'll buy us ice cream. He had no kids, so he had money to spare, and he bought us gloves. He told us, if you guys get a trophy in any sports, I'll give you $10. Fuck, man, we joined every sports. My brother sucked at every sport, but he got a trophy for watermelon eating contest. And he fucking put it in a box, and he took it to Mexico. My uncle
and he gave him
$10. Yeah.
What did he do with those trophies?
He had them all in the living room.
They act like they were his kids'
yeah,
accomplishments.
People would show up, maybe ladies. Este es mi nieto. So, yeah, man. And
sobrino, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I have it all wrong.
Oh, nieto would be grandson.
Might be lying,
grandson.
He never married. He just stood with my grandmother. And
a Mexican and never had any kids, huh?
No kids. Not even missing or wandering around.
That's all I have for today.
Yeah, and
we went over an hour.
That was 15. My favorite line of that Royal Tenenbaums is
you have a lot of favorite lines.
When he's pretending to die, and he goes, "Are you all right?" And he takes out that spoon out of his mouth. What the fuck you think? What do you care?
The fuck do you care?
That's something I would do if I was him in real life. Pretend to be sick so my grandkids could love me.
These are not far-fetched ideas, guys. He is not wrong.
Because real man, like everybody wants to go on adventures like that, like with a grandfather, like jump behind an ice cream truck, fucking throw a water balloon at a car, fucking shoplift with your grandfather.
Is that what everybody wants from their grandfather?
Yeah, fun shit, man. Like, because when you have a grandfather, if you were the asshole to your dad, a piece of shit to your dad, trust me, he's going to be opposite of that to you, man. Like, your dad couldn't ride a bicycle, you get a mini bike.
I had a great-grandfather, my grandmother's father, who lived in a house with her, but all he did was chew tobacco and spit in the trash can. It was pretty gross. He didn't do anything fun. We watched Hee Haw, and every time somebody would sing a quiet song or a slow song, he'd say, "She's crying." And he would just like laugh at the person crying on the screen singing. She wasn't crying. She was just closing her eyes to sing. But
And then Moonrise Kingdom, if you had like a crush in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and you never did anything about it, this movie is like what you would have probably wanted. Run away from the projects and live at Pecan Park, Hollaback Park.
Next to the project. All right. Well, that's it for me. Is that it for you?
Yeah, that's it for me. I'm probably going to watch Royal Tenenbaums after this in reverse.
Reverse. All right. We'll see you next week for more binging. Bye.
Do you even binge?
Do you even binge?
Stay still.